Sometimes Minecraft is about massive projects, huge builds that take days, weeks, sometimes even months. Perfectly cut time lapses, cinematic shots, everything planned out before the first block is ever placed. And sometimes it's not that at all. Sometimes Minecraft is just logging on, no plan, no grand vision, just walking through your world a little slower than usual and checking for things, fix what's broken, change some block palettes here and there, repairing your tools because you've pushed them a little too far since the last time, replanting the crops you always broke because you stepped on them constantly, sorting through chests, you know the one, the chest monster, the one that started as I'll deal with this later and slowly turned into a complete disaster. Sometimes it's just gathering resources, not for anything specific, but just because you notice you're kind of low on cobblestone, or man, I really don't have much andesite, and you just want to get something done in your world. Because these are the moments that actually help build your world, not the time lapses, not the big highlight reel builds, but the little pieces in between that kind of keep the whole thing functioning. These little things, they take time and they take effort, but time's not really an issue around here because around here, we have forever. Hey, how's it going? Let's play some Minecraft. I feel like I've been really bad in the last few episodes about keeping you guys tied in the loop, and I just need to play more Minecraft. I've definitely gotten into like the trend of every video I put on this channel has to have some massive, spectacular build, and I always feel like there's like pressure to have a certain level of video, and I think maybe it would be just as interesting if I brought you guys through the whole journey instead of just getting the highlight reel. Another member of the server, Play-Doh, has been doing this play Minecraft every day thing, and it's starting to get me inspired to just make more videos in general. Even if there isn't some massive build and some epic time-lapse mid-episode, you guys still get to see what I'm doing in this world. And sometimes, like today, you get to see when I don't know what I'm doing in this world. I'm kind of at an impasse. We just finished the giant quarry over at our starter base, and if you saw there, we were back at our old base because I'm building a new ice highway to the next major project in this world, which is going to be a trading area for the whole server. We've gone back and forth over the last year about whether or not we want to have like a dedicated trading island or shop setup of some kind. For now, we just kind of go to each other's bases and trade that way, and the concept was kind of like, oh well, you know, if we have to go to your base to trade with your stuff, then you'll kind of have more interaction on the server. But what really happened was we just pretty much never linked up because everyone would be in their own worlds working, and then the likelihood that I'm even online when someone comes to buy some rockets or some shulkers is pretty low, right? Just for ease of access, and we have a bunch of farms that are just super underutilized on the server. We might as well pool our resources to make building easier for everyone. So we're going to put all the trading in one area. And we picked a new location, or I picked a new location for that to actually happen. It's a pretty beautiful, like, sprawling plains. We want to do almost like a city suburb in the 90s is the feel we're going for. Think Stranger Things, but maybe a little less sci-fi, but definitely that era and that feel. It's going to have roads and sidewalks, but not be like a full-blown city, right? All right, the tools are all repaired up now. I realized partway through that I shouldn't just stand here smacking these things while you listen to this obnoxious silverfish sound. So I'm just kind of doing some stuff in the world, and it's kind of stuff I just never bring you guys along for. We got to go from place to place. That all takes time. We got to repair tools. That takes time. And lately I've just been cutting everything out of my videos that isn't like the exact steps needed to build the direct build that is the focus of that episode. And I don't know. I feel like my videos have started to kind of lose the feeling of me playing Minecraft and have just turned into like build showcases almost. Which, let's be honest, my builds aren't good enough to just be build showcases. Never fails, you press the record button in Minecraft and it rains. Another thing that I cut out of my videos a lot is any sequence where the rain is too annoying. Weather is just a constant battle when you're trying to get something recorded in Minecraft to look nice. So like I was saying, we're going to have this new area, right? And it's going to be kind of suburb themed, so there's going to be a road, there's going to be sidewalks in some areas, there'll be like a strip of like shops, think like the small town, downtown area with shops, that's the plan at least. And I've started throwing some stuff together in creative mode, just to get a feel for like what blocks we're going to need. I'm thinking cobbled deep slate for the roads, And I'm thinking diorite for the stripes. And then the sidewalks are going to be kind of just a mixture of different stones. So a little andesite, little stone, little cobblestone. Maybe some tuff for like darker puddly areas. And like, it's going to be a collaborative build. So everyone's going to kind of have their own feel for their areas, I'm sure, in the town. But we probably need to get some things worked out and decide as a group, like, what do we want a normal road to look like, right? And then, you know, everyone's going to have their plots with their shops in it. I don't think the shops themselves are really necessarily going to be themed. They're just going to be like buildings that would look cool in a small town, right? I'm saying all this before we've actually hashed out all of the plans as a group, so all of this is subject to change, but that's the vision I have in my head currently. It's also, you know, a whole town. It's going to take a long time to build, and it's not necessarily going to always be the focus, but I definitely think I want to spend the next couple weeks just getting a foundation down, some planning, getting some areas leveled there, and getting like the kind of quirks figured out. We should actually grab some blocks that we can use to kind of mark out the area. Some that could be good, just to start to get a feel for like where's the center of town going to be, and like is there going to be a more populated area and like a less populated area. So let's get some blocks and head over there and kind of figure out what that's going to start to look like. All right, we've got a decent little assortment of blocks here. I don't know, we probably should be using something that's less permanent to mark out the area, but we'll figure that out later. Sometimes you just gotta fly by the seat of your horse, you know? I've spent a lot of time like breeding up the perfect horse, and I've noticed that the better and the faster my horse gets, the less nice the footage looks, because this thing is just zooming around and it doesn't have that like smooth galloping through the wilderness feel anymore, but it is much more efficient. And if I'm not going to use an elytra, we got to have a fast horse. But look, we can jump really high, so that's cool. I keep sleeping like it's going to make the rain stop, but it never works. We probably should have grabbed a bed too. I didn't really think about that. There's kind of like a push and pull when you're creating a new project like this. Now that there's like 4 or 5 of us really active on the server, we're starting to use up a decent amount of land mass. And things are starting to get a little bit crowded around like the spawn of the world. And the bigger we build, the more area we need, right? So you'll see this isn't the most centralized trading district, but it was like the nicest open area that was left that we could really make. I just realized that we had not finished this glass. Luckily, we had finished it to this turn, I guess. That could have been kind of dangerous. We'll have to go get some glass too and finish this thing off. I think I had glass, but not dye, maybe. But Plato said he had a whole bunch of black dye at least, so we can make some more gray dye. Now this is full-blown nighttime, and we did not bring a bed. All right, let's see. Where's the town? Here it is. This shader is beautiful in the daytime, but it is dark at night, which I kind of like that feeling of like you're out in the dark. If you don't have a torch, you can't see anything. This isn't modern day, right? It's not like there's lampposts everywhere to show you where to go. We did turn our mob switch in the nether back off, so no more mobs spawning on our ice pathway, but we still have mobs in this overworld, so we have to be a little bit careful to make sure we're sleeping when we're supposed to. So here is our beautiful plains biome. Unfortunately, in the new Minecraft generation, plains actually aren't that flat. So we're gonna have to do a decent amount of work to actually like level the terrain, because in reality, like in the real world, you wouldn't build a town center on a super hilly with giant holes and like super steep cliffs like this. Like that's just not a normal thing. You would bulldoze the whole thing flat, which in Minecraft is gonna mean placing a lot of dirt. But to save ourselves a little bit of pain, we need to pick a decent Y level to start this town so that we're not digging out as much dirt as well. It's one thing to place 10 million dirt, but then you have to like place it again to level the rest of it. I'm thinking we want to be close to like whatever the highest average Y level is. This area over here, it's not like 2 sides of the town can't be different elevations either. So for instance, this area, just like quickly looking at it, I would say I would want to take the couple tiers of this dirt off to here and then level from there, and that would do a huge chunk of this area. Versus this side where it's a lot hillier, maybe this is the more rural area and this is the actual like downtown area, since this is much more flat already. So I think our town will probably start in this area, which will mean covering up all the scraggly holes and doing all that work up front. We're gonna need a horse here too, because I can't bring my horse through the nether every time we move somewhere, and I don't want to be walking around like this constantly, so we need some transportation. I know there was a whole bunch of horses laying over there somewhere, so we gotta go find the best one and bring a saddle with us next time we come here. We kind of have one of our first decision points here when laying out this city, is you kind of always want to think about sight lines. And for this place, I think the actual town itself is going to be the focus, but you still want to think about what you're looking at in the distance. So I think with our roads heading this direction, I want to center up the main road, kind of looking right at this hill, so you get that nice, see how the sun's just peeking over the crest there? I like this region for the road. So our first intersection, I think, is going to go right here. And then I want to line this one up with this scraggly cliff, which I'll probably go and do some work to, I don't know, straighten out a little bit. If not, just remove it. But this is pretty well centered through the region, so I think this is a good other direction. Our roads are going to be 5 wide, so, or at least that's what I've decided right now, which also may change if we decide to go with a different road design. But I just want to get, sometimes when you're doing big projects especially, getting those first few blocks placed is just always so hard. And I find if you just rip that band-aid off, then people will just start making progress because they kind of have a direction, right? Intersection. Typically, we're going to have a crosswalk, right? Let's go sleep. I'll throw down some blocks so I'm not stumbling while trying to do it. I'll explain to you my thought process after we put the blocks down. So here's kind of the gist of what I'm imagining in my brain. We still have to make a lot of decisions like, do we want to texture the road more or keep it pretty flat? Maybe we'll add things like potholes. Do we want to do less or more with the sidewalks? I'm thinking it's like a semi-underdeveloped, it's not a full-blown city sidewalk. So the sidewalks may get thinner, or we may not even have sidewalks in some areas, depending. I'm thinking for the main shopping sections, we definitely will, but maybe not everywhere. We need to design things like street lights or other lamps that will kind of help show you what time period the whole town takes place during. It's funny how much technology can really show where a world is at timeline wise. But I think this is a decent building block from which we can now expand and start making progress to whatever this town is going to look like. We got to decide elevation changes. We got to decide how big we really want to make this thing. But we've got enough area here to expand for a long time, I think. So we'll make those decisions as we go and as we decide or feel inspired to create them. I know this hasn't been a typical episode for me, but I really wanted to kind of just get on here and record and show you guys some of the stuff that I have to do for what would normally be one video, would be building this whole roadway and a whole shop. There would be time lapses and recording, but you wouldn't get to see any of this thought process stuff. So I thought I would bring you along for that part. I think I might start doing more of these. We're still going to have the big build videos, but maybe a few more episodes here and there where I just kind of talk about my thought process, walk you through what I'm thinking, show you some of the in-between behind the scenes stuff that I have to work on the server to get these projects done. And yeah, we'll go from there. But if you made it this far in the episode, I appreciate you. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one.